best time of the week. Most fun you can have legally in 60 minutes.
In 48 states.
Yeah, well, that's true. In the contiguous. But it is Eternal Baseball, bringing you the best baseball ever. And as I pointed out in the Facebook pub for tonight's show, live baseball in January. So
not too shabby.
Yeah, where else are you going to get that? So welcome back. We're glad you joined us. And I want to thank Mike Irizarry for filling in. But given that we took a couple weeks off for the holidays, this is like the big reunion show, right? This is like the Legion of Doom are getting back together, and we appreciate that. So
there you go.
Not only one of the finest baseball minds out there, but my oldest friend. Good to see Brent returning back.
The finest baseball minds out there.
The finest. Ridiculous that some analytics department hasn't snapped you up.
Right? There you go, right? That esoteric, like late 80s, early 90s.
Right? I think the shame of it now is I think we're too old to get hired in any front office, right? They're all like 35-year-old Harvard kids now. So
yes, I don't think we have the credentials at this point, but
no, but we got the swagger. And they say you can get into 90% of America with a clipboard and the right look in your eyes. So
there you go. There you go.
We'll see. Maybe we'll start with the Salt Lake Bees and work our way up.
There you go. That's a fine plan, sir. Fine plan.
Tonight we'll go over the week that was, maybe the weeks that were, because it's been a while. But we've got I pitched it as a potential playoff preview, not just for the alliteration of it, but we've got the Kansas City Royals, who are somehow in contention with, what are they right now? 22-31, which is good for first place in the dismal AL South against the Red Sox, who are 32-21 and tied, I think, for the second AL wild card right now. So starting to like the wild card aspect that we added this year.
Yes, absolutely. Keeping some teams alive.
Yeah, a couple more teams in the playoffs, and just like the real wild cards, and it keeps things a little more active in the second half. And with no trading deadline,
yeah, there you go.
To keep our guys where they are. It's a little more excitement for the second half. So we'll see how that looks. But let me share my screen here. Oops, wrong button. Be careful what button you press here. Present.
You ban your co-host.
Right? I've been known to get loose with the ban hammer before.
Try me.
Right? All right, so here we are. You've seen this before. If you're new, this is how we kind of keep track of who's rolling. Of course, yellow is good and pink is rough. And we're out here in week 9.
Los Astros. Whew.
The Astros, and we looked at this in our Eternal Baseball newsletter. It goes out every Fridays, totally free. Sign up at eternalbaseball.com. Look at teams' winning percentage now versus how they finished season 2 just last year. And it is cool because it does show same players, but there is some statistical variance year to year. So, and that's because we talked about it before. Every player has their basic stat line, which is their best 3 consecutive major league seasons averaged. But then the computer modifies those stats. Every player gets modified anywhere between 30% up and 30% down. And that modifier cannot be seen or altered by anybody. But it doesn't take long to figure out who may have gotten a kick in the shorts and who may have gotten a thump to the head. Like Hank Greenberg got sent down last year by Detroit, which is ridiculous. But it's, you take and the other thing we found is because these are the best pitchers ever, all in their prime, against the best hitters ever, all in their prime. It means everybody's stats skew a little worse than maybe you'd expect. So a hitter going into Boston for a weekend to face Cy Young, Pedro Martinez, and Roger Clemens, all in their prime, probably isn't going to hit his normal ability.
Yeah, only Mark Grace could get out of that slump, man.
Right? Unless he's got a super modifier going on. And same way if you're facing Mantle, DiMaggio, Garrett Ruth, that's a rough day for even the best starting pitcher. So anyway, what we found this year feels like it's the year of the pitcher. I think between the two leagues, we got 9 guys hitting 300, and that's it. Oof. So if and some of that is the pitching, and some of it is, look, if you take, I don't even know what the number is, but if Ted Williams is a career 350 hitter, but he gets saddled with a rotten modifier, so he's down 30%. That's going to turn him into about a 235 hitter, and then put him against the best pitchers of all time, all in their prime. So when people go, I don't get Ted Williams hitting 220, neither do I. But that's the math and the luck of it too. So anyway, we like that. It's one of the reasons we chose the software, because it did give us some nice variance from season to season, right?
It's
if Roger
huge.
Harris hits 61 homers every year, this is going to get old pretty quick. So anyway, looking at the teams who are hot this week, Boston is red hot, 5-1. The Yankees 5-1, but Oakland and Philadelphia were perfect, 6-0. And the team, when we looked at who's better now versus how they ended last year, number one with a bullet, the Washington Nationals, who are only one game under 500. And they are my darling team for the year, because we have the Expos in Eternal Baseball, the Nationals only get to pull from Nationals history, which started in 2005. So nobody has a shallower talent pool to pick from than the Washington Nationals. But because players who leave don't leave in Eternal Baseball until they've been on their new team longer than their previous team, means the Nationals roster their coverage is not barren. They still have Juan Soto and Bryce Harper and Max Scherzer and
Nick Johnson.
Nick the Stick Johnson, who, he was just born 10 years too early, or got to the National League 10 years too early. He is built for that DH. As long as you wrap him in bubble wrap after every game.
He's one of those guys you just looked at as like, this guy should have been playing in the 50s.
Yeah.
He's in the wrong era.
He was so brittle, though, that I think that ended up being kind of the curse in his career. But anyway, and the teams that are rough, Houston had a rough week, and if you go horizontally, you see a lot of pink. That's a rough season. So the idea that we've played 9 weeks and Houston has 5 1-win weeks. A long season in the Lone Star State.
Come on, you Mariners!
Right, the Mariners are scuffling a bit. The Twins, and they're the only team that's had a season-ending injury. Johan Santana blew his elbow out. He's done for the year. Doesn't happen a lot in Eternal Baseball, but he's our first victim. Mariners are rough. Tampa is usually not real good, but they are god awful this year. 0-6 this week. So that's how it's kind of been shaken out right here. So
welcome, Rob.
Yeah, good pal Rob Rosari's here. Rob is an old school Yankee fan, so he still doesn't. The Royals still rank up there. Underrated rivalry, right, from the late '70s and early '80s. So we'll be seeing some of those late '70s Royals with George Brett and Al McRae.
I'm more of a sinkhole guy versus a meteor strike. Too much collateral damage.
Yeah,
sinkhole seems more contained.
Yeah, more targeted, right?
Yes.
So anyway, that's the week that was. But as a special bonus that I did not prep Brent on, here's a random baseball question, Roto. Who's your favorite player?
Buddy Biancalana.
Hold on, I'm not done. From the 1983 Visalia Oaks.
Oh, word. Visalia Oaks.
Yeah, Visalia, California, Orange Country. That would be single A ball.
Visalia Oaks.
Yeah.
This is relevant to today's game.
Oh, it's relevant to you.
Puckett?
Yeah, dude. You want a hint? There you go.
Wow, dude.
Look at baby Kirby back when he was stealing 50 bases a year and killing it.
Wow, dude. Look at that. So I was in the thrift shop. This is a little bit related.
Show and tell.
Was in a thrift store and I just came across this and I was like,
oh, dude.
Dude, memories, man.
Dude, it's like it was waiting for you.
Dude, 99 cents. Take my money. Just take it. I haven't even opened it up. Yeah, it's a Beckett. It's a June 92 Beckett, issue 87.
Couldn't wait to get the new Beckett. See how much our cards were worth.
Oh, amazing.
Back in the day, right?
The sets we bought for $20 that we thought were going to pay for our college education, and now are worth $22.
Yeah, they did not. They held their value.
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
So congrats to Kirby Puckett, Player of the Year that year in High A.
Dude, look how svelte he is. My word.
He was killing it.
He must have. We'll have to look that up, but I bet he must have stolen a ton of bases that year.
I was reading his bio just to get the year right because I don't know not much about Kirby Puckett's minor league career. But I guess out of high school, he was installing carpet in cars at a Ford motor plant in Chicago or nearby, and he got laid off as like a 19-year-old, right? And as happens, believe you me, I know a little something about corporate layoffs. But it was at that point where he was like, "That sucks. I worked hard. I deserve better than that. I think I'm going to focus on baseball." So
wow,
good for you, Kirby. And for those who don't know, your favorite all-time player, right?
Oh, hands down. Yeah, hands down. Yeah. I was a Puckett guy, and there's really no conceivable reason I was, because I was a weak hitting shortstop in high school, but yeah.
We grew up in the middle of Oregon, where the closest major league teams were 7 hours north and south. So
and Seattle was tremendously terrible all the time.
It was so bad.
This pre-Griffey, right? So there wasn't even Phil Bradley. He was good.
Alvin Davis.
They were good. Scott Kingery, always a favorite of mine.
Alvin Davis. Sun Devil.
Yes. Yeah. But they were pretty terrible. And then it's hard to connect with the Bay Area teams too much. So
yeah, it was the closest one. It was barely drivable. So if we got to see major league games live, it was usually Seattle. But where we were, we didn't even get WGN. All we got was TBS. So
TBS, Atlanta Braves baseball.
The ESPN game of the week and.
That was later though. We didn't. Man, when did we even get ESPN? That must have been like 91 or something.
I think we had ESPN for a while, but they didn't get the baseball contract until like 91 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And as baseball craze maniacs, we were like, baseball tonight, like a show every night about baseball.
I just remember, I'd be over your house, man. We'd be sitting there. We'd sit through the entire Sports Center just to get like the two baseball highlights we were looking for, right? Just
yeah.
These kids these days have so easy.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with Bend, Oregon, except our paper didn't even publish box scores.
Box scores.
Not real ones. So I had to get the Oregonian to get real box.
Do you remember how I was talking to someone about this the other day that for some reason Fox programming after 5 was considered too risque for the cable provider, and so they would do for a while there. They did Fox only from like 8 a.m. to like 4:30 or 5 p.m. and then it would cut over to like CNN International. I forget exactly what it was, but
no, I remember that completely because I spent a couple of summers in New Jersey.
Yes,
and I would come back where they had Fox at night, and I would come back with the best ideas for student council skits and assemblies.
And no one had an idea.
They were direct rips off In Living Color. Right? Like we did Homie the Clown as the Lava Bear. Like we did every bit of it. Like, dude, Webb, you got all these good ideas. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, yes,
I do. You bet.
I just remember you'd come back from Jersey and you'd always have you'd come back with like 10 like rock and roll tapes that like had never been played in Central Oregon, like Great White and I think you definitely introduced us all to like Bon Jovi.
I think I've cross-pollinated Skid Row.
Skid Row,
from New Jersey to Bend, Oregon. Yeah, man. 18 in life.
18 in life, man.
So yeah, that's Bend, Oregon. Heaven on earth if you haven't been. But for now, looking here at the standings and all, we got the Giants healthy in the West as usual. The Cubs, best team in the National League, they are on absolute fire. Braves are scuffling, but that whole division is not very good. Philly's pretty good. Montreal's pretty good. Rooting for the Nats. Oakland was really good in season 1. Rough last year, much better this year. The AL North might be the best division with Cleveland and Chicago are tied. Detroit just 2 games back. And we have a superfan TD keeping an eye on the Tigers. And he was not thrilled this week when the computer had a pitcher DH in one game. I don't know how that happened, but I'm pretty sure Hank Greenberg on the bench and Cecil Fielder in the minors were not real happy about that either. So,
hey, when you date the coach's daughter, man, the door's open for you.
Big Bill Donovan, designated hitter. Okay. So we are keeping an eye on that. And again, it's hard to keep an eye on all the teams. If you see something that doesn't make sense, let us know. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. We have team-specific message boards that get updated with the box scores by hand every morning. So if you post, I'm going to see it, and we'll tweak any lineup you want.
Mark is he's very fair too. So
we want every team to be as competitive as possible. If your team is running its best 9 out there every day and they're just not winning, I don't know what to tell you. We try to rotate out the guys who are just rotten this year. And everybody's minor leagues are pretty damn good. So there are prospects you can call up. Or, if you want to call up Jorge Posada, we can make that happen. But
that's right.
Let us know. No, we always say we'll never know a team better than their diehard fans. So you tell us what to do, and we'll make it happen. We get here to the AL South, and this is where the Birmingham Knights, that's our team made up of the greatest legends in Negro Leagues history, have been lights out dominant for 2 years. And this year, they're not only mortal, they're not real good. And that's where Kansas City has, I hate to say pounced because they're 22 and 31, but they are tied for first place. So
slowly limped behind.
Yeah, and what we've learned, one of the absolute truths of eternal baseball, the teams with 100 years of history, they got a huge advantage because their talent pool is crazy deep. Your expansion teams always got it hard. And when I say expansion teams, I'm not talking Devil Rays and Diamondbacks. I'm talking Kansas City, Texas, Tampa Bay. They're all in this division with Birmingham. So of the other contenders, feels like the Royals have the most talent to pose a strategic hit on the Birmingham Knights. So I am rooting for Kansas City a little bit because that division has been, Birmingham wraps it up by the All-Star break, both seasons we've played. So I like it. Being competitive, that's good for everybody.
Yeah.
And then out east, the Yankees are really good, even though Ruth is awful. Ruth and Mantle are awful this year, but the pitching is better in New York, so they are rolling. Best record in the AL. Baltimore is quite good. Boston's quite good. Toronto is hovering around 500. So that's where we're at. But for today, and this will show off one of the peculiarities of the program, it doesn't really like it that we run a baseball season from November to June. So when the calendar turned from December 31st, 2022 to Jan 1, 2023, this league just put us back at January 1, 2022. Kept everything else fine, but it wrapped the season weird. So if it says January 2022 and the days of the week look off, yeah, I get it, but this is how it works. And if you want to give me the credit I truly deserve, I clean this all up on the daily scoreboard. Blank out the year. I change the days of the week up top, so it's gorgeous. So, but yeah, looking at it right here, this looks kind of weird. It isn't really Sunday, the 16th of January, 2022. But work with me here. It's best, it's the best they can get us. So, so here we go. Boston and Kansas City. We'll fire it up. We did have a question came up this week. Somebody said, "Hey, why do you set the roster for the team you're playing, but not the opponent?" And I said, well, I think we always just assumed that it would look weird if we were setting the lineup for the team we're going to face.
Yeah, I just say Brent has eccentricities. I tend to choose players that, sometimes aren't maybe the best. So
all right, so we'll put Boston on computer here and let them pick. We are usually the home team, so we'll be the Royals tonight. And
let's see what Rob said. Oh, it's Kansas City by the interstate. No one would notice the collateral damage. That's fair, I guess. Yes.
That's a good point. I would love to go to the Royals ballpark.
Is this still called It's not still called Kauffman.
It's still Kauffman Stadium.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Nobody will pay for it. So. I love the forgotten guys that used to be important enough to have stadiums named after them, like Jack Murphy and Joe Robbie. And
yeah.
Not anymore, boys. No free rides.
Yeah.
So here we are.
There's a shelf life on everything, right?
That's right. It's Dennis Leonard, who's a bit of a pitching legend out there. And I thought it was going to be Ray Collins, but it looks like it's Carl Mays for Boston. So We will see how we're doing versus right-handers.
Oh man, are we gonna get into the Frank White debate today?
Frank
Sure.
actually is playing this season, and
Oh, okay.
sometimes he's not, and that makes
Gotcha.
Royal fans blow their stack. But
Bro, I'm
it's
sorry, go
usually
ahead.
because Whit Merrifield, at his peak, not saying all time, but at his peak, had better numbers than Frank did. And Mike Moustakas qualifies as a second baseman, even though he never played second base as a Royal.
Oh, okay.
The Reds moved him there a couple of years after he left. But the idea is if a 31-year-old Mike Moustakas could play second in Cincinnati, he probably could have played second as a 25-year-old in Kansas City. So anyway, Moustakas is hurt. Merrifield is wretched. 077 against right-handers. And
Oof.
there's a lot of right-handers in the league. So Merrifield's in the minors. Moustakas is hurt. Frank White, come on down.
Man, this is gonna be temptation, man.
So
Get
here you
us
go.
Hal McRae, Tartable. Oh man, these are some oldies but goodies.
Well, these guys are ranked right now by their OPS against right-handed pitching. So our top of the line guys are probably right up here.
All right.
I think Johnny Damon screams leadoff.
Sounds good.
What do you like?
Let's see. Let's put gentle Hal McRae in the 2-hole. What do you think?
Right, a kind gentleman if there ever was one. Mike McFarland's having the best year, but he is Mike McFarland. So I think he's in the lineup, but I don't know if I believe that he's a 462 hitter.
We got to put Brett in the 3-hole, I think, just for tradition's sake.
Out of respect. And he's been a little slow, but he's still George friggin' Brett, right?
So. Yeah. And then, man, that's tough.
And this is the best. If you scroll all the way down, here's Bo Jackson.
Oh, Lordy.
Has barely even played this year at all, right?
Pinch run. Well, pinch run.
Yeah, it's a good weapon to have.
Amos Otis, Sal Perez, Soler. I don't know, man. Take over from here.
Well, I'd like to get a right-hander in there because we're going lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty. So
sure.
I'm going to ride that Mike McFarland bat here. He's been the best against right-handers, and Perez has been rotten, actually, from both sides, or against lefties and righties. So that opens the door for, it's all righties, basically. But I think, well, I was going to say Witt over Baroa, but Baroa is much better defensively than Witt, and they're about the same with the bat. So I think Baroa is our shortstop wherever we want him.
Okay.
White's our second baseman. Sweeney and John Mayberry are pretty close to each other, but Mayberry's lefty.
Okay.
So maybe we'll go Mayberry here.
Sounds good.
Righty, lefty, righty, lefty. So we got left. We probably have Frank White, Bobby Witt, and either Tartable or Jermaine Dye in right. And the other one can be the DH.
Tartable.
Tartable's a DH?
Tartable.
All right. So Tartable, DH, Frank White.
Love it. You're not gonna get any pushback on the boards.
Angel Baroa, Jermaine Dye. Yeah, Dye over Soler. Soler's having a terrible year.
All right, man. Looking sharp.
Looks like we're good to go. View opponent. Who's the computer like for Boston? Oh, look at that. Look at those lefties. Boggs, Ted Williams, David Ortiz, Mo Vaughn. No problem.
Yeah. All right, we got this.
Got Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski's hitting 8. Ridiculous. Let's play ball.
Welcome to Kauffman Stadium for tonight's game between Boston and Kansas City. Carl Mays takes the mound for Boston. He's made 8 starts on the year and is 6-0 with an earned run average of 1.83.
No problem.
His first start against Kansas City. Dennis Leonard will be on the mound for Kansas City. He's made 8 starts on the year and is 5-3 with an earned run average of 3.40. His first start against Boston. It's 56 degrees, wind speed 6 miles per hour, left to right. Pitching for Kansas City, Dennis Leonard. Leading off for Boston, second baseman, number 15, Dustin Pedroia.
Goodness. Play ball! Sun Devil. Let's beat these photos up a little bit. That's a little better.
Perfect. All right.
All right. So Dustin Pedroia steps in. I do like that this photo. I got a pretty good photo here of Kaufman. And they were actually playing Boston at the time because you look at the Jumbotron, there's Red Sox legend Adrian Gonzalez.
I love it.
He was so bad in Boston. Right? That was that same free agent class where they signed Sandoval and Carl Crawford.
That Crawford signing was like, oh my God. It's like, this guy's he's going to hit 35 homers, steal 50 bases a year. I mean, this guy's going to be a monster. And then it just did not happen.
He was the only threat in Tampa back then, right? You just knew he wouldn't be there forever. And that he'd probably be twice as good on a team with talent surrounding him. He was awful.
You had some trepidation, right, with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, signing, right? Yeah.
I was happy that he was out of Tampa because Tampa was always annoying back then.
Yeah.
Before they got good. But then he went to Boston. I'm like, Jesus, here it comes. They're going to beat on my Yankees still 19 times a year, but more important games. Right. And I knew Sandoval would probably blow up. And I mean that in the waistline sense of the term. But there was no reason to believe Gonzalez wouldn't hit.
Right. With that short porch, man.
Yeah, but not much.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see what Dennis Leonard can do. Oh, hang on. It's got me controlling Boston. Which we don't want. There we go. All right, so pitching to Pedroia. My favorite Red Sox, by the way. He's a Sundell, so you gotta like that.
Hard not to like him.
Yeah.
Third baseman.
Played hard.
26.
He came.
Wade,
he was
Boggs.
He was ASU. Oh, Ian Kinsler was ASU's shortstop, and then they got a commit from Pedroia the next year.
Jeez, dude.
And Kinsler, obviously not a bad player, certainly not in college. And then he was like, can the kid play second base? And they told him no. And that's how Kinsler ended his career at Mississippi State.
Wow.
Playing shortstop.
So he transferred immediately?
I forget if he played the year or transferred right away, but it was pretty obvious. Maybe they shared time that year, but I'll have to look that part up.
Wow.
But the funny part was Kinsler came back to the Red Sox at the end of his career and won his only ring there, backing up Pedroia at second base. So, hey. All right, so Wade Boggs. Yeah, doing Wade Boggs things.
I was going to say that's
Left
plausible.
fielder.
That's plausible.
Number 9.
Yeah.
Ted Williams.
Ted Williams. Probably going to
My
do
word, this lineup.
Ted Williams things. Oh, wow, pitch.
Hey, Rob has a... There you go.
Dude, that would Red Sox fans never forgave him. Not for winning the ring per se, but for riding that horse around the field. That was hard. That burned hard in their brains. Back then when they were still swimming in the curse, right? So I would have thought it would have softened more over time. Now they won rings, who cares? But
No.
Nope. No, they're still mad at Nomar.
First baseman.
Really?
Number
Yeah.
34. David Ortiz.
It's like him getting traded away, which was one of the ballsiest trades ever, I think, right?
I can't even remember. Tell me again who they got. Who was the Hall?
Somehow they got, in a three-way deal, they got Orlando Cabrera and more to replace him.
Oh,
And Cabrera was great. And who knew that Nomar was about to not fall off the cliff, but I would say he was never great after he left Boston. So seems to me like they cut bait at the right time. And they won a friggin' title. So, but whatever. Here's Big Poppy.
Strike 3.
Wow.
Pitching for Boston, Carl Mays.
Carl Mays.
Leading off for Kansas City, center fielder, Johnny Damon.
I don't know that much about Carl Mays, but I know that he's 6-0 with a 1.83 this year. So we avoided their chimera in their pitching rotation, and we get this guy who's having the best year. So Johnny Damon, real good bunter, just maybe for later.
Yeah, go for it. I think maybe we'll surprise Boggs.
Well, we have Ortiz out there rated as 2.
There you go.
Base.
Yeah, I like it.
So I think they normally would play Vaughn. I think Vaughn is rated a little better, but either way, it ain't Don Mattingly over there. So maybe we'll have some fun with that. Oh wait, he dropped
Left
it.
fielder, Hal McRae.
The throw pulled Pedroia off the bag.
Oh, man.
Damon is safe at first.
Only-
57% to steal.
It's Hal McRae. We better not mess with it. He'll get
Right.
angry.
You can. We don't do this very often, but you can make McRae take a pitch. See if that percentage goes up a little bit.
I'm not handling that blowback.
Hey, Rona's a McRae fan. I'm not. I don't want a phone thrown at me. So I'm not talking cell phone either.
Let him hit. Let the man hit.
Let the man hit. Oh, pick up the 10.
All right, where are we at?
74.
Woo.
You're the offensive coordinator, man.
Yes, go.
Straight steal, hit and
Straight
run,
steal,
what?
straight steal.
All right. Veritek is rated as a 7 defensively, but an arm is only 4.
Cowboy
Below
up.
average. So off he goes.
Oh, he's got it. Jump.
He's out. Hal McRae, angrier than ever.
Cowboy up.
Strike 3.
Strike
Ow.
George. Brett.
George Brett, looking young. And pop it out. Yes.
Designated hitter. Mo. Vaughn.
Given that it looks like the Giants are going nowhere in Major League Baseball this year, and I'm not, believe me, you're never going to confuse me for a Red Sox fan. I really want to see Yastrzemski get traded to Boston.
That'd be cool.
It just feels like that'd be awesome. And he's not so essential to anything they're kind of building out there
Yeah.
that they couldn't put that together. And if you're Boston and all you've managed to do is keep Devers, yeah, fans might like it. So I'm throwing that out there. Like I want to see
It's good marketing.
I want to see Shea Hillenbrand play for the Mets too, right? Shea Stadium. How cool would that be?
That'd be good.
Didn't have. All right, move on. Another guy they seem to know when to cut bait on, right?
Yeah.
Right fielder. Manny. Ramirez.
Oh yeah, this guy.
That was kind of another twist with Korea going to the
Yeah.
Twin. Yeah.
Did you hear his press conference?
No.
I'm so glad to be back in Minnesota.
Shortstop.
Yeah.
Dude, you tried to sign with 2 different teams. So,
I think it's forgivable because there was like a 120 million difference or something, like
Yeah.
140 million. I think that's when where fans are like, you know what, man? Okay.
the funny
No
bit
hard
is,
feelings.
he ended up getting pretty much the same contract Houston offered him when he was first a free agent.
Is that right?
And he didn't like it, fired his agent, hired Scott Boras, got less than he expected last year, but had the opt-outs to try to reinvigorate his
So with
market.
this
And
deal,
then-
it adds up to just about if he had re-signed.
yeah, he could have just stayed in Houston. And
Wow.
they didn't, not that they need him, because Jeremy Pena is so good,
Yeah.
but yeah, he could have just stayed put. But
Yeah. Rob, not a Korea fan.
he other than Trevor Bauer, if he gets signed by someone, I think Correa is the most hated player in baseball. As one of the least repentant from the Astros,
Yeah.
he was one of the few that was just kind of a jerk about the whole thing. Get over it, basically, was his line of thinking.
Hmm.
And then I guess if he had, Minnesota fans don't hate him because he came back, right? But if he had stayed with the Mets, well, I guess he gets Mets fans who hate him now too.
Well, I think I don't know. I wonder the medical aspect of it. I think just changes it, right?
Yeah, he didn't turn his back on the Mets, right? They just
Yeah.
they just
Or the
made
Giants.
offer. But,
Yeah, it's just like, well, okay, your ankle looks terrible, so we're not going to
So-
pay you 140.
not getting all of that money. So not getting the Trevor Story money to play a year worth of second base before blowing his elbow out. All right. Anyway, here's Nomar, who that looks like it has.
He's
Well,
got
it's
McRae's.
nice.
Oh Lord.
Oh, that's long gone.
Ugh.
Into the State Farm Pavilion. State Farm. I kind of like that,
Center fielder.
So, a lot of Italians out there,
right? Nomar is a little extra dangerous in this because after he left Boston, he ended up playing first base and third base, and he can do all of that. Figuring again, a younger Nomar would have been even better, probably defensively. So Nomar's a bit of a Swiss Army knife in this game, and he just cut us to the tune of 2-0 loss. Yeah, he's got some of that, but on
Is that
Catcher, number 33.
Damon or was that Beret?
It's a great play
Oh.
by Damon. So,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
here's Tech.
Catcher, Mike McFarland.
All right, Mike McFarland. I gave you cleanup duties based on your fantastic numbers. So
Here we go. He won't let us down. Look at that jawline.
right,
We're good.
Come on.
We're good.
Come on, bro. He's running and hitting. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, he made it.
Oh,
Is he on-
Carl Mays is hurt.
Look at McFarland. Does
McFarland's
everything.
safe, and somehow Carl Mays was injured on the play, and so now we do get Ray Collins.
Yes. All
So
right.
something to watch. We've just swapped righty for lefty. So
Pitching for Boston,
we'll
Ray
check here.
Collins. First baseman, John Mayberry.
So Jorge Soler is fantastic against lefties, and Sweeney is pretty good too. So that's something to think about later on. Also, Sweeney is bad at first base, but bad at catcher too. So he's a pinch hit possibility for later on. All right, Mike McFarland's in. Here's John Mayberry. Looks like Manny's got a beat on it, but sometimes that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Designated hitter.
he's like
Yeah.
that bizarro Willie Mays, right?
And I've had Red Sox fans go, "What the hell is Manny doing in right field?" And I'm like, you want to go tell Ted Williams that you need him to move? I think we're all right, right?
There are certain conversations you cannot have.
Yeah, Manny played more right in Cleveland before he came to Boston, so he is equal. Let's put this gently, equally talented in left and right. So here's Danny Tarnable doing Tarnable stuff.
Ugh.
Grounding into a double play, and here comes Dustin.
Strike 3. You're out.
This 4 weeks off has stilled my baseball instincts.
Right? I wasn't against Damon stealing it, 74%, but it did bite us a little bit. And Ted Williams.
I think Rob has a good point too. I think
Yeah. It's hard to crack that Boston outfield. Mookie Betts isn't playing. In his prime, we don't
That's
have
amazing.
Betts in that outfield. So some of the other guys, Betts, Mike Greenwell is around.
Greenwell.
Who else? Dwight Evans. Dwight Evans never gets the credit he deserves, man. That guy was like really good for 15 years. So
Yeah.
Here's the splendid Splinter. Frank White is all
Second
that,
baseman,
let me tell you.
Frank White.
Oh, speaking of the devil,
Here we go.
come on, Frankie. Dribbler. No Mars.
Right fielder, Jermaine Dye.
I mean, from flipping around, nothing wrong with Nomar and prime Wade Boggs on the left side, but that means you've got Bogarts and Devers and Hall of Famer Joe Cronin on the bench. So it's the kind of depth you have if you've played 100 years. in baseball. Here's Jermaine Dye. He got a lot of that, but not quite that.
Shortstop, Angel Berroa.
I believe it's on hell, but I'm not going to try to fix that right now.
Ball 4.
All right. 82%, Rhoda. Two
I
down.
think you got to send him.
Off he goes.
Safe.
There we go. 15% now to steal third.
Come on, Johnny.
Johnny Damon. It's a dribbler to short. Ortiz manages to catch it. And we go to the top of the fourth. Poppy at the plate.
Ball 4. Take your base.
Love walking the leadoff guy. At least we know Ortiz isn't going anywhere. Move on.
Oh, there we go.
Look at that. That was slick.
Woo.
Here comes Manny with nobody on, thank goodness. Little soft pop out, and we're back at it. Hal McRae's a 7-bunter.
Hey, go for it if you want.
It's up to you. You're my OC. What do you like? The last bunt didn't work.
Let's see. We are in the we're after the top 4th inning. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get some base runners.
Run.
Oh,
Not
man.
outside. George good.
There we
That's
go.
Ooh, stretches it.
Look at
Double
that.
for Brent. Here's Mike McFarland, who, if you recall, is in here because he kills right-handers. So, as a matter of fact, it's probably way too early. Well, Kansas City has 3 catchers because hang on. Because what's his name? Sweeney's bad. Perez is great defensively, but Perez hasn't hit at all year. But McFarland against lefties, he doesn't. I don't think he's even played against lefties. But he is a right-handed hitter. But we've got Sweeney up here as a right-hander who's murder on lefties. So, do we want to switch to a subpar defensive catcher now, or do we want to keep that in our pocket for later?
I think we give the jawline one more at bat to prove his worth.
Works for me. And it's down. Come on, George. Looks like Williams fumbles it and left, and we are on the board.
All right. Look at us.
Mike McFarland with his blue steel standing atop second. He's down there.
Strike 3. Count.
Come on, Daddy.
Danilo Tartable. And I only know that from the back of baseball cards. Single into left. Mike McFarland's in. We got a tie game.
Man, these instincts came back fast. I love it.
Tartable at 30% to steal second.
Oh, this is Frank. We got to wait for the Frank White bomb.
Yeah,
there's no way this doesn't happen.
You're going to be waiting a while.
There it is.
How about the 5-hopper to third? But tie game, pretty happy with that. Nomar steps in. Bottom of the order. Oh, it's good to know my 10-pound guard dogs. Thank you, Emma.
That's made me startle, man.
Right? Yeah. Hey, welcome to my life. Emma, did somebody who lives here all the time just walk in the door and threaten you? Good to know that we're safe here at Casa de Weber. And here's the man they call Tech. Yeah, we got a lot of that, but I think Hal's up to the task. There we go. Shemaine Dye steps in, bottom of the 5th. Hot shot to left. 40% to steal. I think that we can let that go. Although Baroa is a fantastic bunter, a 10, as high as you could be rated, so you could sacrifice him for the top of the lineup.
Let's see. How's he doing this season? My eyesight's terrible.
He is 229 on the season.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. Or let's see. Rob wrote something. Let's see. Oh, Emma was quiet on Friday. Yeah.
Only because I had the cat near me, and the cat was great. He made his debut on our G.I. Joe podcast, and was just giving us the disapproving look like the whole show. So
nice.
He fit right in. We got one new subscriber. It was a cat.
Silent judgment.
And he did not like the show.
Let's play some small ball. Yeah, let's do it.
We bunt for a sacrifice here. Maybe somebody throws it away. Run, Jermaine.
Jermaine taking his sweet time.
Right?
Jeez.
He didn't look like he was going to be safe. All right, so Johnny Damon, duck on the pond.
It froze. Did he?
The fly out to center.
Oh.
Dye is 94% likely to be safe if we send him to third.
I think you gotta. What do you say?
Okay. Normally I wouldn't push second versus third with 2 outs, but 94%.
I think we're well within our.
Oh
man,
that's not even fair.
That's pretty brutal. I feel like we got set up on that one.
That's a bad beat right there. As the top of the order comes up here. Just gets Pedroia at first.
Leonard's pitching pretty well. Not to
not
jinx him,
bad.
but covering first. He's
Leonard
doing
was,
everything.
David Cohn, probably my favorite starting pitcher of all time. I read his great autobiography, and he grew up in Kansas City. And so Dennis Leonard was it. When he was on the mound as a kid, he was pretending to be Dennis Leonard. So,
Hey, that's cool.
so that's high praise.
Ball four.
Even though he just walked Ted Williams. Ted Williams. Here's Big Poppy, 2 down.
I just imagine these guys like, pregame or the night before checking their their iPad for all the scouting stuff.
Right? I just imagine like Ortiz looking at his iPad down in the hotel lounge, we'll say, and Ted Williams walking by. What's up, Poppy? And in that sequence, I envision Ted Williams in black and white, right? Walking through an all Technicolor bar. Like, oh, there's Ted in black and white. No big deal.
Wearing a fedora and
yeah, oh, absolutely. A smoking jacket. Yeah. Garrett Whitlock now pitching for Boston.
Pitching for Boston, number 72,
Right.
Garrett Whitlock.
So it's a right-hander coming in, and our lineup is built for right-handers. So, Hal McRae, show them what you're made of. Now, that's why Ortiz is rated as a 2.
oh man, read it off to me, boy.
It was a low throw from, actually it was Nomar's fault. Low throw, but Ortiz can't scoop it. It's into the dugout. McRae ends up at second, and he spiked Pedroia on the way in.
You're right. He
Which is
barrel rolled him.
Which is not that funny because that's how Pedroia's career really ended. I'm not ended, but Manny Machado with some. It still makes me mad and it just makes it worse for me. And the Utley's the same way. You would think that a middle infielder would have a little more decorum sliding into second base, but man, that was a terrible slide by Machado. Anyway, I'm just going to throw this out there, even though I shouldn't, because the leadoff runner is in scoring position with nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. But it's one of your favorites, and he's 70% to steal third with George Brett at the plate. So this is a head heart kind of thing for you to figure out.
Oh, I mean, you can't send him here, but
okay. So the head.
But Rob has a funny ordering a Moxie.
Was that McRae who, as a manager, took the base? I don't remember him. I remember Lloyd McClendon doing that.
I just did that one slide that he did against the Yankees where he just took out. I mean, it was like the most blatant, like barrel roll ever against poor Willie Randolph. And Randolph's just like, "Are you kidding me?" Like he didn't actually leave until he was over the base.
Willie Randolph went about $150. And he landed. The shortstop almost caught him. Right? Like, I don't remember McRae throwing a base, but I remember Piniella doing it probably a couple times. And I remember Lloyd McClendon, managing the Pirates, got thrown out arguing a call at first base. And he just pulled up first base and left with it. And I thought that was so good. Like, fine, I'll go, but this is going to sting for a couple of minutes. So good. All right, Garrett Whitlock to George Brett. Look at that. Off the wall. McRae's in easy. Brett's a second.
We gotta get McRae on the show. I just want to do like a slow-mo walk through that play. Just have him talk us through it.
I mean, he wasn't big for patience, as I recall. So. But he's probably not doing nothing right now.
Man, we gotta give that guy a call. If anybody knows Hal McRae, please.
What's up, Hal?
DM us his number.
Back in my radio booking days, I had Yogi Berra's home number.
Nice.
And I tried to get him on the air, and he answered the phone and then pretended he wasn't Yogi. He's not here. Do you know when he'll be back? No, he's shopping. And I said, okay, will you let him know that KGME called? I sure will, he said. And then I went, all right, thanks, Yogi. He said, you're welcome. Yogi Berra.
I love it.
All right, Mike McFarland steps in. Oh, and takes one.
Hope it hit his jaw, because otherwise it may have hurt him.
Hit him in the jaw. He was uninjured. First and second, John Mayberry. Ooh, down the line. Stay
get
fair.
down, get down.
I think that's a fair ball. That is a double. To the left field corner.
What is McFarland? My word.
Oh, he couldn't score on a ground rule double. It's a
ground
double.
Oh, it's ground rule. Oh, okay, I thought it just rolled to the corner.
Yeah, it's possible. McFarland not the speediest of catchers, but gives Tarnable a good opportunity with nobody out, runners on second and third.
Strike three.
And, one thing to note, I didn't bring it up before. If Kansas City has a strength, it's the bullpen, and it's all right-handed. But look at these guys.
Quiz. Yeah.
Wade Davis wasn't great for very long, but he was great.
Yes.
So he's actually the closer with a 1.18.
Dude, Holland had a couple years, right, where he was just. Whew.
Yeah, Quisenberry and Montgomery, Herrera. I didn't know who Marty Patton is, but he was really good. So we got a really good pen, but every bit of it right-handed. So
gotcha. All right.
Keep that in mind if this stays close and late.
Yeah, Rob's like, that's the most Yogi thing ever.
Right? Thanks, Yogi. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
All right.
You got it, kid.
Yeah. Whitlock and Frank White.
Oh, that's a run. We're sending McFarland regardless.
That sack fly written all over it.
Give us numbers. Oh, he doesn't even need numbers.
He's going anyway. So good. Jermaine Dye steps in. 5-2 Royals.
Woo. No.
Carl doesn't look too worried about it. Yeah. All right, here we go. Move on.
Strike three.
Striking out.
Strike three.
Manny striking out. Let's see. No pressure. Nomar single left. Nomar is 78% to steal, but we're not going to let that happen. He's still 78%. 80%.
Oh, man, we're just angering him.
Should we pitch out or just ignore him or pick off?
I think you ignore him. Let's just strike out Yaz.
Fair enough.
Ball four.
Oh, I think we got hosed on that call.
All right, did we get the pen up? I guess we get the pen up.
Yeah, it can't hurt. In the seventh here.
Let's get Quiz up.
Davis is the closer, but we can get Quiz with the old sidearm funkiness. Bottom of the order here, Veritek. Oh, a nice little dribbler to Frankie White.
Hey.
And we're out. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to make a Dick Raditz joke. I think I'm going to let it go. Beautiful. Dick Raditz is now pitching for Boston.
Pitching for Boston, Dick Raditz.
Raditz.
It's possible. Angel Baroa steps in.
Strike three.
Strikes out. Johnny Damon back up. Nope. Hal McRae. I assume he's hitting because he's probably mad by this point. Ooh, look at that, down the line.
Send him.
To the wall. Turns the corner. He's in there. Stand up. Second. George Brett, 2 for 3, by the way. So we ignored that 229 or whatever average coming in. A dribbler to short, but looks like McRae's on the move.
Yikes. All right.
He's 2 down. All right, fine. Pedroia. Okay, Quisenberry's ready. Leonard has thrown 99 pitches, but can throw 140 before he's exhausted because he's old school.
He's doing great. Let's give him a little bit of more of a leash.
See if he gets in trouble, we're ready. Looks like a straight infield single for Dustin. No, Brett kicked it. It was an error. Pedroia is 91% to steal second.
Oof.
So is that a pickoff or a pitch out? What do you like?
I think you pick him off once.
Okay.
Get it down to like 60.
47. I like that.
There we go. All right.
Let's see what Wade Boggs has for us.
Strike three.
He strikes out.
Wow.
Doesn't happen a lot.
Leonard.
Ted Williams steps in. We let Leonard pitch to Williams, or do we want quiz here? Pedroia only got on because of an error.
Yeah, I think he let it a little longer, maybe.
All right. Pedroia is 90% to steal, so I'm going to remind him. Now he's 58. Much better. All right, Ted. Line out to Frank. Pedroia is only 62%, so we'll pitch to Ortiz. He got some of that, but not enough.
Look at us, man. Look at
Right?
Leonard.
This game's easy.
My word.
Smokey Joe Wood now pitching for Boston.
Oh, it's go
Pitching
time.
for Boston, Smokey Joe Wood.
Here comes the
Yes.
chin.
Mike McFarland steps in.
Woo!
It's foul, but
Pummel. Strike three.
Mike. We had such hopes for you. Mayberry flies out. Here's Danny Tardo, 1 for 3 on the day.
Ooh. Oh.
A little bit. Nah,
Wow.
Ted's all over it.
All right.
All
Do we,
right.
one more, or do we go the distance? Oh, wait. No, it says he seems strong. That's always the bad indicator, right?
It is the 9th. Seems, I don't know about that. Quisenberry's ready. Why don't we at least get Wade Davis up? He's our closer. So we've got Quisenberry ready and the closer warming. Only takes one batter and a mound visit to have Davis ready. So let's see what he does with Mo. We got a 3-run lead. Is that
Okay.
fair?
Sure.
I wonder.
Wasn't that a Broadway show?
Which one? Quisenberry? Let's see. I think we stick with Leonard until he at least gives up a base runner.
Yeah, he can go 9. Let's do it.
All right.
Famous last words.
Right before Manny gets into one here, but Johnny Damon's up to the task. Nomar is the last chance for the Bo Sox.
Done and done.
Al's all over that.
Wow, this game's easy.
Wow.
The final score from Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City 5.
Yeah, Smokey Joe Wood is the one I was
Leonard
talking
is
about, the
the
Broadway
winner.
show.
He is now 6-3 on the season. Garrett Whitlock picks up the loss. He is now 0-1 on the season. Nomar Garciaparra hit home run number 5 on the season. Time of the game, 2 hours, 37 minutes.
So a 7-inning shutout for Dennis Leonard, if you count after the 2nd inning. So we dig that. Nomar's 2-run blast didn't end up hurting us much at all. And your player of the day is Dennis Leonard.
Wow,
Carl Mays is hurt. He's going to miss about a week, but it could be worse when your starting pitcher limps off in the 2nd inning. So we'll see if how Boston handles that. It's probably Louis Tiant going to kill that. So that'll be fun to watch. So
Rob has a quick update on the
there
Broadway.
we go.
Yeah, I must confess, I have very little knowledge of Broadway shows.
I know a little bit, but I'm not up to that. I like No Nanette, a good show financed by the sale of Babe Ruth. That's my favorite Broadway musical. So
Was that really the title of it?
it was. the guy who owned the Red Sox was more interested in Broadway plays. So the play was a failure.
I have to imagine it has something to do with a female, right? There's no way that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it's one of my favorite baseball stories when he sold Babe Ruth to finance a failed Broadway play. Nice one. So anyway, that wraps it up. So good for Kansas City. This is the first game off the Monday schedule. We'll have the rest of the Monday schedule posted up tomorrow morning, so you can take a look at it. As hopefully you're enjoying a 3-day weekend. We appreciate you spending some time with us. The Eternal Baseball Podcast is every Sunday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. We do try to get around the league, and we've got our classic games are all saved up on YouTube. So if you want to see your team play, you can probably find them on YouTube, or we will get to them as the season goes on. The Eternal Baseball is on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're at eternalbaseball.com, where our team-specific message boards have the fresh box scores uploaded every morning. As we said before, if you see something that looks a little hinky, let us know, and we will fix that lineup for you. We also have our newsletter comes out every Friday. It's totally free. You can sign up at eternalbaseball.com, and we are a little past the 1/3 mark, making our way towards the All-Star game, which is always a good time. So
Absolutely.
thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week on another thrilling edition of the Eternal Baseball Podcast.